All right, without taking time to think about it, would you say that you love yourself? Yes? No? Not sure? All right, let me ask you a couple of follow-up questions. Do you treat yourself with self-respect? Do you honor your personal preferences and make sure that you address your self-care? You know how much you love that celebrity? Do you love yourself that much? You know how you treat your best friends? Do you treat yourself like that? You know those people in your life that you would do absolutely anything for? Would you do the same for yourself? Well, stick around because even if you answered that you loved yourself, I bet these questions made you think about it. And in this video, I'm going to give you a definition of self-love that you've probably never heard before. And then I'm going to share with you the 7 karmic blocks to self-love. Stay tuned. Hi there, I'm Lisa Engles Witter, and welcome to my channel where I help spiritual seekers just like you to become spiritual finders and to harness the ancient wisdom of yoga to live an extraordinary life. The goal of this channel is super simple, just to make it easier than ever before for anyone to find happiness and fulfillment in their everyday life by using what's already been passed down to us for millennia. Now, one of the biggest challenges that my clients come to me with, I always say that this is they find themselves stuck repeating the same lessons over and over again, and they're frustrated because they feel at a loss. Most of them have already done years of the work, whether that's coaching or therapy or spiritual practices, but they're still struggling with the same unhealthy relationships, or they feel like they should be further along in their life than they are right now, personally, professionally, spiritually. So if you can relate to that, then I invite you to head on over to www.karmic-warrior.com. Grab my free report on why you keep getting handed that one lesson in life. Even if you've spent years doing the work, this is a free report that I created to reveal to you the secret about harnessing the law of karma, to finally break free of that one lesson so that you can live a freer, fuller life right now. I put the link in the description below. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the little notification bell if you haven't already, because I put out new videos just like this one on a regular basis. All right, so let's talk about self-love, and let's talk about the karmic blocks to self-love, and I'll have some follow-up videos as well that will go into detail on each one of the karmic blocks to self-love. But in this video, I want to do a little bit more of an overview. What is self-love? Well, self-love is simply accepting yourself and loving yourself for who you really are, right? Now, that sounds simple, and it sounds like, yeah, I already know that. That's what self-love is. But let me go a little bit deeper into this definition with you. So self-love is about loving who you really are, not who you think you are. This is an important distinction because who you think you are, your personality, and everything that comes with your personality is not who you are. So let me give you this definition that we'll work with over the course of this video and consecutive videos after this around this topic of self-love. That self-love is our ability to perceive our true nature. So love itself is a perception. Love is our ability to see the truth of who we really are, regardless of our history, regardless of anything that's happened to us in our life, regardless of what we look like, regardless of what our job is or who we're married to or not married to or partnered with or not partnered with, regardless of who we hang out with, right? Love is a perception of our true nature. So self-love is simply a perception, us you being able to perceive the truth of who you really are. Now, there are some blocks to self-love. It's very, very hard to perceive your true nature when you're your own worst critic, when you are constantly judging yourself, when you're engaged in destructive habits and behaviors, when you doubt your abilities, when you question your worth, when you engage in negative self-talk. I could go on and on. Do you want me to go on and on? I think you get the idea. All of these things block us from being able to perceive the true nature of who we really are, and therefore to truly love ourselves. So if any of these sound familiar to you, then, you might not quote unquote love yourself as much as you think you do. And that's okay. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching this video, because you're ready to love yourself. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll be curious about the karmic blocks to self-love. And as I said, we'll be discussing those in more detail later. But for right now, let me give you what those karmic blocks to self-love are. So there are 7 blocks, karmic blocks to self-love. And those are not realizing your inherent self-worth, inhibiting your own self-expression, having a lack of self-awareness, having a lack of self-care, not caring for yourself, not acting with self-respect, having a low self-esteem, and then the last one is a lack of commitment to your own self-growth. So by committing to healing these karmic blocks to self-love, what will happen is you'll gradually begin to cultivate a deep knowing of the truth of who you really are and your true nature as love itself. So let me tell you why you should care about this. Why should you even care about this whole topic? And it's a fair enough question, the question begs another question back, which is, why wouldn't you care? Why wouldn't you care about loving yourself? Why wouldn't you care about self-love? Because self-love is not only necessary for anybody like yourself who's on the spiritual path, but it's also just common sense, right? Self-love is important because it's the bedrock of who you are as a person. Without self-love, you'll be plagued with doubt, with uncertainty, with anxiety for your entire life. And maybe you've already been struggling with those things. The thing is that life is hard enough as it is already, so why suffer more than you have to? Discovering and abiding in this unshakable love for yourself is going to serve you beyond measure through all of the ups and downs in life. So when you're committed to self-love and specifically to healing the karmic blocks to self-love, you're going to have a lot less doubt and fear. You're going to find that your relationships are more fulfilling. You're going to find that you're less anxious, less of the time. You're going to be more satisfied and fulfilled in life. You're going to start to see more opportunities around you because you're in a place of self-love. You're going to achieve more and become more productive when you love yourself. You're going to be able to assess your abilities really honestly when you're more self-loving. You're going to make healthier decisions for yourself. You're not going to tolerate being mistreated when you love yourself. You're going to recognize your true value when you love yourself. And of course, you're going to be more compassionate, more empathetic to others when you love yourself. And of course, I could go on and on with this list because the truth is healing all of your karmic blocks to self-love is going to improve every single area of your life. All right. So maybe by now you're thinking, okay, yeah, I could benefit from taking a closer look at, what might be blocking me from self-love. What are the karmic blocks that you have from loving yourself? So let's look at how this relates to self-love, because it does. Because when we put this into the context of self-love, it's our karmic patterns, it's our karmic blocks that are keeping us from realizing the truth of who we are and loving ourselves for the truth of who we are. Karmic patterns are what keep you mesmerized by tried and true distractions. And what happens is you find yourself, gliding through life, drifting, feeling unclear, maybe confused, maybe feeling that you're paralyzed by doubt and you don't know what to do next. Your karmic blocks can hijack you. They hijack your rational mind. They obscure your ability to see things and see, most importantly, yourself as you truly are. And they cause you to make poor decisions, impulsive choices in life, and they leave you feeling powerless. Okay, so this is how karmic blocks play into our ability to love ourselves. So as a recap, let me just give you once again that definition of love or self-love. Love is a perception. It's a perception of who you really are. So self-love is simply being able to perceive the truth of who we really are. And now you have a little bit of an understanding, a little tiny understanding of what karma and karmic blocks are. So the 7 karmic blocks that I'm going to cover in the next consecutive videos are: number 1, the karmic block of not realizing your inherent self-worth. Karmic block number 2 is inhibiting your own self-expression. Karmic block number 3 is a lack of self-awareness. Karmic block number 4 is a lack of self-care. Karmic block number 5 is not acting with self-respect. Karmic block number 6 is low self-esteem. And the last karmic block is a lack of self-commitment to your self-growth. So I hope you'll join me in my upcoming videos on these 7 karmic blocks and how to begin healing these karmic blocks to self-love. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your comments in the comments below. I read all of the comments and I respond to them. Let's have a conversation about this. What is self-love to you? I'd love to know. And once again, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Click on that notification button if you haven't already, because like I said, I'm going to be putting out a series of videos on the karmic blocks to self-love, and you won't want to miss them. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Namaste.